Welcome back and happy Tuesday. It's a little after noon here and we are redoing this Facebook Live because we did have some technical issues earlier. So if you jumped on earlier, thanks for joining us. This will be the full forecast now. Let's go through some of these headlines for you today. High wind and a flooding risk for today. So we've already seen rain across some of these northern plains areas, even Mississippi Valley areas, across the last few days. And now what we woke up to this morning in places like Kansas City and Des Moines, Iowa, was some flooding on the roadways. They're going to have another chance for storms today, so that could increase that flooding risk. This storm activity continues. We see another round of storms not only today, but also tomorrow, then again on Thursday for your 4th of July. We'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about the historic major hurricane that made history and broke records once again last night, now upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane. But let's start back here at home. Let's talk about what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, a handful of brief tornadoes in southern Nebraska. These, from what I saw, didn't cause any damage, but we did see them pop up on our storm reports here from a strong storm over there. We've also seen a handful of very high wind as well as some larger hail. Now, the largest hail that we saw yesterday was 1.75 inches, anywhere from quarter to golf ball sized hail. This is golf ball sized hail right there. Now for today, your current conditions is a stretch of rain anywhere from the Great Lakes all the way down to the northern portions of Oklahoma. What we're seeing today is, yes, that rain continuing. We've already seen some flash flooding in Iowa, and we could definitely see that once again. They're not getting a break right now, and they have another chance of storms later on today. That storm chance will stretch anywhere from the northern plains all the way off to the east, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But I want to get to your current temperatures. It is a hot lunch hour for many of us. Temperatures are in the 90s, anywhere from Oklahoma all the way down to Texas. A little bit of relief farther up to the north, and then of course we have the 80s and 90s all the way out towards California and Las Vegas. Okay, now let's take a look at the chances for storms today. So what we're seeing today is a line of storms stretching all the way from central Kansas into Iowa. Omaha, Des Moines, you will be some of the first to see those storms, but this will continue to track to the east and extend and start to develop down to the south, bringing storms to Kansas City later on in the late afternoon, early evening hours, and lasting all the way through the late night hours. Through about midnight tonight, Kansas City could see those storms. This will stretch all the way down to Wichita and even clip portions of northwestern Oklahoma. However, unless something crazy happens, which we've seen it before, I don't think that this will reach Oklahoma City. Okay, taking a look at the biggest hazards for today, because we see a little bit of everything today. I told you about the flooding that we're expecting to see later on today for some of our northern communities. We also have the instability to create those stronger storms for large hail as well as isolated tornadoes today. You can see these storms, they'll use a lot of that instability as we head into the later hours. By sundown, maybe even later into the evening, midnight hours, it looks like a lot of this instability is used up. Those storms will weaken and they will be non-severe by tomorrow morning. But we also have that significant hail model showing us that we could see storms producing hail anywhere from north of Wichita to north of Kansas City. I think these storms will struggle to produce a ton of hail inside the cities. However, just to the north of there, I think we could see some hail out of these storms. Here's a look at the tornado forecast for today. Pretty low chance across the board. However, if we do see anything, it'll be a better chance up anywhere from Des Moines all the way just to north of Kansas City here. And look at your hail forecast for today as well. Anywhere just between probably less than the size of a golf ball. That's my assumption here for central Kansas all the way up to places like Iowa and northern Nebraska as well. The better chances for those storms, again, will be just north to these cities here: Wichita, Kansas City, Ames, Iowa, and all the way over towards Fort Madison. Now taking a look at what you can expect the rest of the week. Oh, but first, hail sizes. Let's get to hail sizes today. Now tomorrow, I think we could see larger hailstones. However, today Tuesday, we're talking about ping pong ball sized hail, about 1.5 inches here. All right, let's take a look at what to expect for tomorrow. We're on the 3rd of July here. You're going to see in the morning hours those non-severe, most likely garden variety thunderstorms. But we've got 2 areas of concern as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. I've outlined them here for you. The first, farther out to the east. With this, we're talking some of those bright lights, loud noises. No, we are not talking about fireworks. We're talking about thunderstorms. Yes, thunderstorms with some high winds anywhere from St. Louis all the way up to Cincinnati. But probably more of an interest to you will be farther out to the west, where we are expecting several tornadoes, large hail, and high wind speeds anywhere from eastern Colorado all the way up to northwestern Kansas and into the northern portions of Nebraska, all the way up to South Dakota. Let's take a look at the hail forecast for tomorrow. We're talking about hail sizes up to or greater than the size of golf balls. Goodland, McCook, probably seeing the best chances for those storms there. However, we could see some hail all the way down from Guyman into Wichita as well. Okay, taking a look at what to expect as we head into the rest of the week here, because everyone has their eyes on that 4th of July forecast. And while we do like to forecast that hail here at Hail Trace, we also like to have some fun. So here's a look at that holiday forecast here. Unfortunately, it does look pretty rainy for a good portion of the country. Places like Oklahoma and Texas looking mostly dry, even out towards Colorado. However, especially through the morning hours, it looks like widespread rain across a good portion of the northern plains all the way out to the Midwest. Now this, at least through the early afternoon, I'll move out of the way so you can see the timeline here. But as we get into the evening hours, closer to dinner and closer to the fireworks time, it does look like a lot of these storms start to at least isolate, if not start to dissipate altogether. But of course, we'll be watching that for you. We do have a severe chance with some of these storms, so we'll keep an eye on it. Another big topic of discussion across the weather community here lately has been Hurricane Beryl. You can see that we have a very well-defined eye with this storm. It made history once again yesterday, last night, pretty late into the night. We were texting amongst the meteorologists here, and we were talking about how it was upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane, the earliest that we have seen in the Atlantic season. So here's what we're seeing here, 160-mile-per-hour wind speeds. That is the sustained wind. It's what you would consider a weak Category 5, because right at 156 miles per hour for sustained wind, that is where we go from a Category 4 to a Category 5. So we're barely over that threshold here. That next stop for this hurricane will be Jamaica. That on the southern edge here, it is expected to weaken before it hits Jamaica, weakening once again, headed to the west and to the north as we head into the Yucatan Peninsula. This may be a place of interest for many people who like to vacation during the summer. We've got Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and on the other side of this peninsula is Progreso, so that may be some common terms for a lot of people. Now we're still working with some warm waters, so as this continues to track to the west and to the north, it will very much likely be sustained either as a hurricane or as a tropical storm here. And you can see that the cone of interest here, where we're expecting this storm to go, will be anywhere from southern Texas all the way down to the northern portions of Mexico. So we'll keep an eye on it. This is not something that's going to go away anytime soon. This will probably be a topic of discussion all the way through the end of this week, if not early next weekend as well. But of course, for more details on the weather or how to get involved with Hail Trace, you can follow us at any of these social media. We just posted a TikTok last night on Hurricane Beryl, and of course you can call us. Make sure that you either give us a call or an email or visit our website at hailtrace.com. Have a fantastic Tuesday. We'll see you back here same time, same place tomorrow at noon.